So the global cryptocurrency exchange FTX has reached a $32 billion valuation after a 400 million Series C funding round. That's more than the market cap of the NASDAQ exchange or Twitter, according to the article. So this new valuation of 32 billion comes just over 3 months after FTX raised 420 million for a 25 billion valuation. And this is interesting. The investment was raised at the same time and from the same backers as the 400 million Series A round into FTX US, which is its American affiliate. And that got an 8 billion valuation last week. So backers include Paradigm, Temasek, Multicoin Capital, and SoftBank. And this one gets me. The amount raised, however, it says, falls short of the 1.5 billion figure reportedly targeted by FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried last year. So I have a few thoughts on this, but I'm going to throw it out to Will first. I'm just going to pick because I didn't see any.
Sad for SBF. You think he can get whatever he wants, but he can't quite get that valuation. So the first thing that came to mind for me was thinking about Coinbase, right? They IPO'd last year. And when you go IPO, your valuation changes a lot because it's based on who's holding the stock or where the stock price is at, exchange, like trading on exchanges. For private valuations is based on how much assets you have on your books and then how many shares are outstanding within the private company itself. And then you have to look at things, of course, like the revenue you take in. And then this last thing is funding rounds, which is a big deal. If you have a nice funding round, you can just add that to the top of your market cap. That's typically what we see. For Coinbase, I'm looking at Yahoo Finance right now. Looks like they're about a $50 billion market cap. So we're not crazy far away from that for FTX with this $30 billion range, right? The $30 billion valuation. I would expect going forward that this number continues to creep closer, especially if you think about how FTX US plays into this as well. And I don't know what the relationship and how it's defined at this point between FTX and FTX US. I'm sure they like to keep things for PR off the books and very separate. But same branding, same overall idea is to create an FTX empire of some sort. And you know what? I really do think they could be bigger than Coinbase in the next few years. Why? Basically, it just comes down to their global. Coinbase is more or less in the United States. They've chosen that to be the domain they operate in. FTX has gone global, just like Binance used that playbook. And so we're going to see a larger valuation because of it. Zach, I want to throw it up to your thoughts, and then Sandal, I definitely need to get your input on how you read this story.
I'm just thinking about Sam's Corolla right now. I think there was like this weird video that came out.
I thought about
that was
that
like in praise of great men. Sam Bankman-Fried, he's amazing. And there's like a clip in it where it's like, yeah, it's a Corolla. And I don't know, like wherever he was. And this is a guy who is wedded to sort of like effective altruism, is big about giving back, wears like a t-shirt and sleeps in a beanbag and has built sort of like legendary status around such actions. And now he's at the helm of a $32 billion company. It's pretty crazy. I mean, it's easy to say these numbers and like not think about it, which is why I think it's great that the comparisons in this piece were up top in the deck. But if you look at like other crypto valuations recently, like 13 billion for OpenSea, which is like the king of the NFT market right now, you're almost 3x that. And that's what people are seeing in terms of the opportunity here for having, the Pepsi to Coinbase's Coke in a way that makes sense for a global user base. So it's pretty crazy. There's going to be some more mergers and acquisitions down the line. I'd be interested to see who FTX sort of absorbs into their empire. In the US, that was LedgerX for a derivatives product. It's going to be interesting to see really what comes next now that, this it's a legit empire. This empire has so much money, so many resources at hand. Just really curious to see what's next for them. So anyway, all right, we're getting late breaking word. This just in that Jen is back. Jen is back in the 4 box. Jen, welcome back. We're just talking about what's next for FTX.
You won't.
So let's get your thoughts on the matter. Let's get you on the record before you cut out again.
Before I cut out again, I'm so sorry.
Raised a bunch of money. What are your thoughts?
You guys have probably already said what I'm about to say, but I think that this signals two things for me: that they have they've locked in their marketing strategy. They really have built that trust around non-native crypto users. I think they have a good roadmap as to what they're going to hit when it comes to marketing and which high profile celebrities and sports teams they're going to bring on. And now they're really focusing on regulation. And I apologize if I'm repeating what you guys said when I was gone, but it's interesting to me that they're going to look outside of the US towards these acquisitions. Zach, I know you were just talking about the acquisition with LedgerX, but I think it's really smart that they are looking at companies that already have the licenses that they want to get and already have the relationships with regulators. And maybe they're not so bullish on the US given what's going on with the regulation here. So they're looking to diversify a little bit. So sorry if I've repeated everything everyone said, but it
Oh no!
Oh,
It's okay. So
no.
now it's hand went up. So
Sonley's ready.
muted,
Sonley's ready. There we go.
No, yeah, I sort of wanted to add to that. And my first question was also like, what are they going to do with all this money? And this article says that a chunk of the funds raised will go into their kind of global expansion, obtaining licenses, as Jen said. And actually, Bankman-Fried told CNBC that the international businesses of FTX will be licensed across the bulk of the Western world by the end of the year. So he's already coming for the US and he's going, I think, definitely for the EU. So it will be interesting to see where he goes. I have a feeling he's going to go to France like Binance did, but you never know. I don't know what Will thinks about it.
I want to do one sidetrack really quick before we leave this little zag here, and that's BitMEX, which is a rival exchange that was very well known in the ecosystem from say 2015 to 2019 or so, 2020. Then it got slammed by a bunch of lawsuits from the federal government, just had a drop off in the amount of open interest on the exchange, which is basically a proxy for how many people are using it. It's trying to come back by doing this professionalization that you were just talking about, Sendali. The interesting thing is they're also launching a token at the same time. They launched that yesterday, I believe, or maybe it was earlier this morning. BitMEX, obviously like a stalwart. Everyone who's been in the exchange world or in the crypto world knows about them. They recently bought a German bank to kind of professionalize. They bought in some top executives out there who had experience in the traditional exchange game. They tried to kind of present themselves as like a new face in this. It had terrible record in the past, just to be clear, just because of traders would get liquidated, they get upset, and it's kind of like the cost for being first in the crypto ecosystem. And now they're trying to rebrand, and they issued a token at the same time. So it's kind of interesting. I think that's a story to watch as we kind of see exchanges like FTX, like Coinbase, and BitMEX try to professionalize, but also cater to this crypto crowd that is token hungry.